Welcome to your online source for calculator tutorials. In this tutorial, we will learn how to create a box and whisker plot from a set of data. Alright, if you've been paying attention to the last couple of tutorials, we've been using the same data set over and over again. We're using the ranking product from a company on a scale of 1 to 10. Let me take you into our list menu right quick to show you exactly the data set that we're working with. People were asked to rank data on a scale from 1 to 10, and then the frequency of the responses is captured in L2. So just a quick overview of the data that we're using. In some of the previous tutorials, we've calculated scatter plots, we've calculated regression equations, we've looked at using the one-bar stats command to come up with all the different statistical measures. In this one, we're going to be creating a box and whisker plot. That's fairly easily done. It's very similar to the steps involved in creating a scatter plot. So you want to start with the stat plot menu. So hit second y equals. We need to turn our plot on. So let's go ahead and do that. And then the option that you want to have selected, which I already have selected here on the screen, is the box and whisker option. So if you scroll down to the type, the first type is the scatter plot. We've done a bar graph before. What you want to have selected is the box and whisker plot, which is the one in the, well, if I can get to it. You want to use your over arrow to get you to the bottom row, and then it's this one here in the bottom. So that's the one that we want to select. And then this will give us an option of choosing an X list and then the frequency list. Well, your X list are the actual rank scores 1 through 10, but the frequency of that scores are definitely going to affect the shape of the graph. If the frequency is heavily in the 8, 9, 10 range, then the center of the box plot will be much closer to the right edge. That's the usefulness of the box plot, is it's a one-time glance at kind of how the data is laid out. But this is what your screen should look like. You should have L1 for the X list and L2 for the frequency list. If you hit graph at this point, you may or may not see something good depending on your window settings. I just have the default window, so we can kind of see what's going on, but it's not great. If you're using statistical measures like these, box and whisker plot's a statistical device, then you can select zoom and go to the bottom and select zoom stat, option number 9. That usually provides a pretty good picture of what's going on. So this is quite a bit better. Alright, one of the interesting things you can do with your box plot once created is to hit the trace button. And hitting the trace button, depending on where your cursor was, will bring it up on any one of these 5 different points of interest. It's called the 5-number summary. Let me start on the far right hand side. The 5th in the 5-number summary is the maximum value, data value, which is 10. If you go to your left, this will give you Q3, which is equal to 9. That's the 3rd quartile. Then the middle bar is always the median, not the mean. Remember, the middle bar is the median value on a box plot, which is 7.5. The start of the box is Q1, which is the 1st quartile. And then the very first part of the, I guess you would call it the whisker, is the minimum value, which was a ranking of 1. So this shows that the majority of values are higher or above the ranking for Q1 of 4. So the majority of values are above 4. And that's kind of the usefulness of the box plot. All right, this concludes our creating a box plot tutorial. Feel free to replay this tutorial or browse any of the other available topics on the course webpage.